Welcome back to the channel. Today we're welding a full ARTEC Truss system on this 2019 Rubicon front axle. This video is partially sponsored by RockMount Welding Alloys. RockMount specializes in maintenance welding, whether TIG, MIG, or stick, brazing. They'll cover all those needs. Hard facing, rotary tools, abrasives, and even drill bits. So anything you need to do for fabrication or maintenance repairs, RockMount can cover you. I'll leave all that in the descriptions below. Other than the lower C gussets, it's pretty much where it's all going to go. I got to get it all laid out so I can get it sanded and cleaned. So this one's going to be a little tricky, and I have no idea yet how I'm going to get this one inside of there. So first, you just worked everything down to bright metal. Whenever you can, you should try to. We're going to be using this RockMount Polaris Mig. It's got 100,000 psi tensile versus an ER70, which only has 70,000. Now the Polaris is made for maintenance, so if there's a little paint or something, it'll be just fine. It's a very strong wire to use for something like this. We're going to spray the inside with this high temp Rust-Oleum. It's good for 2,000. MIG welding's around 3, but we need something to protect from the salt and everything. So after it's painted, we're just going to sand the edges that we're going to weld on and then knock off the mill scale on the outside. Alright, so I'm going to use my transfer screws just to make a quick cover to cover the axle area here for where the fad goes in. And it'll mark where those tapped holes are at, so I can bolt up. Alright, so we got everything all cleaned up, got everything prepped, wiped down with acetone, went through all the edges, got rid of the mill scale, cleaned up the casting areas. So she's ready to weld up. A company that we're an affiliate for, RockMount, it's called Polaris Mig. And with the Polaris Mig, it's not like ER70 wire, which is typical. I'm not going to have to heat this casting up like you would with the ER70. Which means I'm not going to have to take out my carrier and everything else. And I'll leave a link in the descriptions about that Polaris Mig. We did heat up the casting to about 150, use a digital parameter just to check it, and then I wrapped it up with a thermal blanket so it didn't cool very fast. Alright, so we got it all welded up. Still have to put the lower C's on, and I'm debating whether or not I'm going to put the pieces in to go under the spring perch. Alright, luckily once you take all the axles and the hubs and everything out, that front end gets quite a bit lighter. So I have to get these gussets on here. So I got to figure these out. It looks like that's it. So I'm still debating whether this area needs beefed up. There's a lot going on there already. Same thing with this side. There's a lot of brackets in there already. I don't know. I'm not too sure what that buys you as far as stiffening. Alright, so when you put the lowers on, they're cut a little bit differently. One's got a higher cut. They're cut to clear this bracket on both sides. That's for your sway bar connects. Let's get this down to bright metal so we can get it welded up. I really like this Miller 220. It's a multi-process. I can MIG, TIG, or stick with it. It really does a good job running this Polaris Mig, and that's a 220 or a 110 unit, so I can use it wherever I want. If you enjoy fabrication content, check out our other YouTube channel, which is 4x4 Fab Shop. We do all kinds of fab work, not just Jeeps. I think you'll enjoy that as well. I'll leave that link in the descriptions. Alright, so we got those lower C's welded on. There's a couple of small areas I need to come back and finish welding tomorrow. We're going to weld down inside of the upper part of the C tomorrow. Let this cool off a little bit. Do it on both sides. And then the connector here, let it cool down a little bit. We'll get those welded up. Alright, so there's the front axle. Got it all painted. I think overall it came out really good. That ARTEC Truss for the front fit really good. So it's kind of hard to see since it's all black, but we've got the front C gussets on it, upper and lower. The only ones I didn't put in are the ones that go up under the spring perches. I really don't know why they're even there. You got the spring perch, you have all these other mounts stiffening it. So it might be proved wrong, but I can always put them in later. You know, and then the truss actually stiffens up. Control arm as well, which is kind of nice. So we sprayed it a nice gloss black. The new ball joints are on their way. And we did order a new set of ball joints for the front. So one thing Dana Spicer did change is that where these have some plastic internals where the ball actually rides in there, the new ones are all metal on metal, and there's a grease zert in the ball joint itself. Should last a little bit longer. I know that on mine I'm starting to get some wobbling, so I never bothered to even investigate it because, well, knowing it we were going to change. So we'll put a video out also on how to change out your ball joints, how to remove them, and how to install them. I think that's a good video all on its own. There's not a lot of stuff out there on the JLs yet, and that I can find. There's only 2 ball joint options as of August of 21. You got the Dynatrax, and you have the HD version of the Danas. As we get closer to the final assembly and get the ball joints in, it'll be part of a future video of this whole thing together going into the Jeep. So if you enjoy this, follow along next week as we get the truss on the rear axle. And then, so I'll see you in one of those videos. If you wanted some tips and tricks on welding, I'll put something up here. Until then, this is Jeepingmo. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and leave me some comments.